call this meeting to order. This is Town Council Work Session on September 2nd, 2025 at 6 p.m. First order of business is roll call. Madam Clerk, please turn on your microphone.
Thank you. Good evening. Mr. Larson.
Here.
Ms. Burchard.
Here.
Mayor Green.
Here.
Mrs. Weirda.
Here.
And Miss Scafidi.
Here.
You're Mrs. I'll do that next time.
Or you
Mayor-
can just say council member, whatever, but I'm giving you an out if you
Okay.
want to make it easy.
Mayor Green, you have a quorum of the council with all members present.
All right, thank you. So tonight's work session agenda is mostly comprised of new ordinances for fees in general. Then we have the utility procedure ordinance, utility rate ordinance, and capacity fee ordinance. And we wanted to take this time to have Craig and Monica present these and give you a chance to ask questions. So in general, that's kind of the lowdown. Madam Clerk, I'll let you start off with, I'll pull these up, however.
Yes, so I provided you all with a memorandum that doesn't clearly go into all the dynamic of all the changes that we've made. However, it does summarize, I think, the majority of them. I did it rather quickly before I left Friday. So tonight, though, in front of you, in case you're somebody who likes to read along and make notes on the paper, I did provide you with the paper in the work session. I've provided you with ordinance number 296, which is the current ordinance that oversees the utility billing and the rates are included therein. What we have done and what we are going to continue to do as we update ordinances is we're removing the fees from the stated fees from the ordinance. So you have the utility procedure ordinance, which that is basically just, these are the rules. And then you have the utility rate ordinance, which has all the rates that are mentioned in the utility procedure ordinance. So they are reflected in the other ordinance. Additionally, then you have the capacity fee ordinance, and the rates, though, are in the utility rate ordinance for the capacity fees.
And explain real quick why we're doing that. We're separating out the fees.
Because that way we can just edit a fee without editing all the verbiage, and sometimes it gets lost. Some of these statements get lost, so we just shifted everything.
Throughout the year, we could update the fee ordinances and cover multiple different fees or different areas of fees
across the board.
instead of having to update
Yes.
the ordinance for utility billing or whatever
Yeah.
every.
And so I did put, and I used AI, Jim, to help me write the utility fee ordinance. And it had a suggestion that I did want to bring to your attention. I left it in there because if you don't like it, we'll take it out before we do the second reading. It does have a statement in there that you could amend any of the fees within that ordinance by resolution. However, if you're going to update like a simple fee, like I'm going to raise the bounce check fee, I could do that by a resolution. But if you're going to change the overall rate structure, you should update the entire ordinance. I left it in there because I kind of like the idea of that if the bank suddenly raises the charges, the fees that they charge us for a check fee, then I could just bring a resolution that says this is what the return check fee is.
So maybe we have them grouped, like these are the ones that have to be
We
under
could,
ordinance.
we could do that if you'd like, if you
Yeah.
guys instruct me on which ones we can shift that around.
Okay.
Because there is some miscellaneous late fee. I mean, I don't know that we need 3 readings if you guys decide that a late fee needs to be edited.
Yep.
However, I agree 100% with Jim, although it's completely legal to update any fees by resolution and to allow it to be done so, something as serious as your utility rates really needs to go through 3 readings just to allow the public to have 3 opportunities to comment on it. So that's why it's in an ordinance. Overall change that was not stated well in my report, I actually thought about it over the weekend, is one of the biggest changes the utility procedure ordinance does is it changes the responsibility of who digs main to curb. Historically, Craig, if there wasn't already an existing either service line or lateral from the main to the curb line, Craig's guys or a hired subcontractor would come in and do that. It's very expensive. The curb cuts themselves, correct me if I'm wrong, Craig, but they're $2,500 to $3,000 a piece to just to patch the paving. And so when you think about that and then look at our cost that we were charging for connection fees, it just was not even covering our in-house costs if we dug. The other big change, though, is the ideology surrounding connection fees. Connection fees are simply going to cover our cost to connect. So that means the town's cost to connect. Capacity fees is what is going to be the infrastructure investment piece. And so that can be used to upgrade our systems or to, like with sewer, it can actually pay down the debt for the treatment plant if you so choose. So there's a lot of other things. Craig, Melody, Kevin from Jorgensen, and that other guy from Jorgensen, we have spent countless hours going through every process that we have and trying to make sure that this is reflective of what we're doing. The other change, and I can do whatever you guys want. At the end of the day, I recognize that, you're the people who enact the laws. Historically, readiness to serve fees kept pace with base rates. To me, that doesn't make sense. And if it makes sense to you, we can certainly keep that moving forward. A readiness to serve fee is pretty much, it's a monthly fee charged to properties or vacant lots that have the ability to connect to our system. So have access to our infrastructure. Eliminating it would cause us financial harm. But I don't know that it needs to cover all the same costs that somebody who's actually connected needs to cover. And so I've split those fees so that historically, again, it always said they're the same, but I left it at the current rate in the rate ordinance, and I did increase the base rate reflective with the 10% that was budgeted to be increased on water and 25% on the base rate with sewer. The last thing we've done is we did build into the ordinance the ability to charge per gallon based on your water usage for sewage. I have not put a rate to it at this time. I like the ideology. I'm very familiar with that. When I lived in Pennsylvania, that's how my water and sewer bill was structured. So I'm comfortable with it. But I wanted to build it into the ability to do it, but I'm not recommending at this time that we charge a fee for that. But that allows for larger users to bear more costs on a monthly basis. It will allow us to restructure, but I think this is the first step, and then we need to reevaluate and decide how we implement that. I just feel that that's too big of a change to do on top of every other change we're already doing at this time. I'm just not comfortable doing that too right now. to assign a fee to it. So, any questions?
Are we still using this table on the new ordinance, or this goes away?
That goes away.
Okay, good, because I was going over it and I was like, doesn't seem fair for the car wash to get such a low per day, and
Yes.
it's crazy.
So one of the things that was recommended by Jorgensen and that we did is in the new ordinance for water, water is determined by size of your service that you put to your property. So that truly defines demand. When it comes to sewer, it's been calculated based on that chart, and there is all kinds of theories of thought all the way across the United States. You can find so many different ways to do that. What we've decided to do, and we've done in this ordinance, is fixture units are a very fair assessment of what usage you will have. You're not going to put in 10 toilets if you only need one. And so that tends to show how your business or your home, what actual demand can be used. And so so for every 25 fixture units, as defined by the International Building Code, for every 25 fixtures, it's 1 ERU. So it will be fair across the board. And so whether it's, an outdoor faucet or your shower head or your toilet or your tub, all those things will be counted based on the International Building Code. They're all assigned a number value based on how much water they can use.
25 seems really high.
It was a recommendation
Okay.
by Jorgensen based on our
Okay.
use. So Craig, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he looked at what our average use was through this process, like in a household, and tried to equalize that. You can see people anywhere from 20 to 30.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So like for a hotel, I guess I'm
Oh, it's
trying,
a lot for the hotel. So there's like the sink, the faucet,
well, the sink, the shower.
shower.
So that would be
toilet.
5 hotel room, or 3,
In the bathroom.
yeah.
But if they have, so it goes right down to, are you drawing water for your ice maker is a fixture, and that's assigned a value.
And then I guess it would be gallons used, would then
Yeah.
create some fairness with the hotel?
And like commercial washers and dryers for
Yeah.
hotels, that's a big.
Yeah, it's a much different demand rate.
Yeah.
And so they all are assigned that way.
Yeah, okay.
I kind of agree, because when I first heard that number, I was like, it's gonna be hard to get that many fixtures. So.
I mean,
I'm-
a 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
You've got to figure out how many, everyone should figure out how many fixtures they have, but it's, every sink, every toilet, every, it could,
Dishwasher, washer.
Dishwasher.
washer and dryer.
not dryer.
Okay, washer.
Washer.
And then you have spigots outside.
It's like,
Outside.
I'm at 11, 12. I was gonna say 11 or 12 is where I'm at. So it seems like for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath,
Not enough. I mean, it's too
means
much.
too much.
25 is too much.
25, I mean, and please, I wanna ask Jorgensen, it just seems really high that.
No,
that
and I'm open to that. 'cause
Yeah,
that was
no, I know.
definitely their analysis.
So can we start, like, are we
Yeah.
allowed to say, okay, I have questions on this?
Go for it.
Okay, so 2025-013, I already went through it today, but I had a couple questions on like the water rate schedule, page 2, page 3, and page 4. So for me, I think the biggest thing is connection fees. I understand. I still think the one for single-family homes seems pretty aggressive, going, what was it, to 9,800? What are we going to?
For the capacity fee?
For the
Connection fee.
the capacity fee, sorry.
Okay, because
The
that's,
capacity
yeah,
fee.
totally different.
But I'll go back. So
Okay.
I think my biggest question is this, like, Okay, so our water base rate is 34, but out of town is only 42. So what I guess I'm hoping is to not put the burden on all the single-family home people in the town of Alpine, is I would think the out-of-town rate should be double.
We can't, we're capped by law.
Okay, so you're not allowed to double it,
We're capped. 125%.
literally, even though we're taking on all the debt. Okay. All right, so that answers that. Then the readiness to serve, I'm kind of with Monica. I think it's aggressive to just constantly charge people. I'm saying it could be something, but I don't think it should mirror what our rate is for an actual home. Because I feel like one day those people are going to connect. So I don't know, for that one, I noticed that. Yeah.
Don't we also
Oh, no.
don't we also have a fair amount of people that owe us money, and that's typically the reason why? I mean, more often than not, the
They're
raise.
irritated.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's quite a few liens that are filed against properties who never paid their ready-to-serve fee.
yeah, so we just keep leaning the property, they
Yeah.
just keep adding it up. So, I mean, I don't even know what the percentages of time, how many
Yeah.
people we actually get. I'm sure we get 75% or something, but there's just a huge percentage of people that do not.
They don't.
Mr. Mayor,
Yep,
just the historical perspective to answer your question and Ms. Kafi's question, as it was explained to me, why that was that charge is to help Alpine grow that much faster. Whether you agree with that or not, that was just the historical, because we were a growing town. We didn't want to be a town of empty lots, of second homeowners. We wanted to be a town. So
so what's the theory? If
the
we start
theory was
charging
just
them more,
like,
they're gonna
we
be
don't want you to
motivated.
buy an empty lot and keep it empty. We want you to buy a lot, build on it, sell it to somebody. That's just how it was explained.
Yeah, I guess I don't necessarily agree. I mean, that's, in theory, probably might be a way to get people hooked up, but it's not enough of a motivation to get people to develop.
build.
But
Just
Okay,
while we're on
yeah,
that same
yeah,
page,
keep
what
going.
is the water service fee? The third line?
The $2.
What is that?
And so that is a fee, and we put it on here after Mel and Craig had a meeting with somebody, I think it was Corin, Maine. And across the United States, once people are doing projects such as ours to replace radio meters, they are instituting water service fees. That money will go into a special account, and the only thing it will do is replace the water meters. It's literally $2 a month based on a 20-year projection to replace your water meter.
But that'll get a lot more. How much is how much do they cost, the meters?
I don't have that figured off the top of my head. 3/4 inch, I think, is like $400.
Okay, so let's just say, you said for 20 years, 15 years?
Yeah, I averaged together a couple different sizes.
Okay, so 20 years is 240 months times $2 brings in $480. So that's how it was explained to me, that this is something that we charge because we know eventually we're going to have to replace these meters.
In 20 years.
Yeah. And then basically, do we bank it? Do we escrow it? Do we put it in a certain
Yeah,
account?
so once the ordinance is passed, I'll come back to you with a resolution on the financial planning to set up an account on the books to put it in, to save that money separately and restrict those funds to only purchase water meters,
In 20 years.
replacement water meters.
They're not going to.
Yeah, right. It's going to be a
Yeah.
lot more.
It's going to be a lot more.
So real quick, Jim, back to the 125%, is that constitutional, legislative? It isn't at the state level? Okay, because it's just insane to me that if you can't get people to come into town to pay taxes, that the water rate is that close
Well,
together.
that's part of the reason why.
And I know
we-
that's old school. I'm not saying it. It's just frustrating because it's saying like, we want you to grow, but we don't want to be a part of your town.
It's part of the reason why annexation is so important, like to
Yeah.
have these people that are just For example, we just brought in Flying Saddle, you know,
Yeah.
they have a special deal, but anyways.
Yeah.
To have somebody like that, isn't, we couldn't charge the appropriate amount, to bring them in now, now that they're in the town, they're not a great example, but any
Yeah.
other like hotel that used to be in the town and now is, we can charge them the going rate and they'll have to pay it,
Yeah,
so.
okay. Well, I'm not going
Did
to
you
change
have-
the state level at this point. So, okay, then on to the sewer rate. I guess same question. Okay, septage disposal fee. Are we allowing septic disposal?
So we are allowed to do it by our own ordinances, but we don't do it very often. We basically are doing it very rarely to help out the septic companies. We can't take much. It's already been well established that we can't do it, but we have to have a way of charging for it. So the 225 is.
I
how did we
probably
come up
would
with-
double that.
How,
Because they drive to Marbleton right now, and it's $275 just to empty a septic.
They're doing it at,
Oh, did they,
Star Valley Ranch, the
Oh.
park, they put in the drying beds.
No,
yeah,
yeah.
oh,
I saw that.
they're allowing for septic disposal.
Well, that was the big meeting we had with the county, and that was their solution. And I saw that it seemed very small for that.
Yeah.
But they must have given them the permit to do it.
And EPA and all that? Wow.
Yeah. So there's a concrete pad with walls around it, and they can go and dump it there because, I can't remember the number, but it's 98%, it's all the stuff that wouldn't go into ours
Your
anyways.
system.
So if you put it out there and it dries, then basically you get all the water out, and then you can just take it to a regular transfer station, like the dump can take it at that point once it's dried. So
I don't know, I would just say I'd probably go a little higher on the septage disposal.
And just,
But if you're not doing it that much, I mean,
no. And recently, though, we did accept septage at the old treatment plant. When we had a failure within our own system, we had to call on the septic haulers to help us, so that we didn't overflow at a lift station. And so they dumped at our plant. And so I did talk to the lady. Last time we charged them, and what they were paying here is about $175 per thousand. And that's what she paid us. I raised the rate, but I'm happy to do it to
oh,
whatever
it's
you
okay,
want.
I thought we were talking lots
No.
of
This is
disposal.
like
No, okay,
Emergency.
In emergency, if they're loaded.
Okay.
They need somewhere to dump that.
Yep.
That's what it is.
And I think they actually, those hold more than 1,000, right? So isn't
Yeah,
it like
they hold
4,000?
4,000 gallons.
So it would be pretty much just under $1,000 for them to dump.
for an empty.
And it's gonna be super rare, for sure.
And our plant, due to the dynamics, they literally then transfer over, 50 to 100 gallons a day is all,
Yeah,
or
something
something.
like that.
I mean, so we can't take it because we just aren't built for it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then page 4, I think the transfer of service, I know we upped it, but I don't feel like we should up it. I feel like that's a change in the computer of a name. Like Star Valley Ranch went from 750 to 1,000, and people really got it. Like, and I know it's only $50, but, and we could discuss it, I just caught that. Then the water connection fee, I was a little confused because I thought we passed, and I don't remember, but I thought we passed a resolution or ordinance that said, we aren't gonna allow out of, if you're not part of the town, you can't connect?
Special exception. So, right,
Was there a special
we
exception?
can choose to make a special exception.
Town council has the ability to allow someone in.
And
But
we're
where-
still
where-
trapped by 125%.
Where are you,
Oh, water connection fees out of town.
in town, out of town, okay, I got you.
So I was confused because I thought we weren't doing out of town
So,
connect.
my question is 1,500 too low? In my opinion, it is too low. That number was brought forward, just to cover our time. I want to make sure we're more than covering our internal costs, but I also don't want to put too much burden on people that are hooking up. So as long as we're covering our costs, I'm fine with it. I just
Yeah.
want to make sure. I would think it's gonna be pretty rare that the out-of-town multiplier, but are we capped on that number as well?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The 125% for out-of-town multiplier?
See, I wouldn't think that would be capped.
That's a Jim question.
Like the rate, I think, but is the connection mandated?
It's just the rate.
So I would, that I
Let's,
think would.
let's do some
yeah.
more research on that and see if that's something that can be,
Yeah, because it just says the rate.
yeah.
And again, this isn't to be punitive. I mean,
No.
I'm hoping, at the end of the day, anyone who comes into the town, it's to help the town grow.
Yep, we don't want to put too much on them, but
Okay, and then the sewer connection fee, I guess I'm gonna do a little research, just 25 fixtures,
Yeah.
a 3-bed, 2-bath, I think, I don't know if you're, I think I'm 12, or 12 or 13. So I feel like, I don't know, but I do wanna hear from Jorgensen, Craig, I'm not trying to discount, I wanna see what they say.
Jorgensen's the ones that gave us
Okay.
that number, so we need to just confirm it.
Okay,
And I believe there may be some number in the code that relates, that they were using that as something as well. So that, you're exactly right. The way we're changing it, the fixture units, the way we calculate them could be a huge impact to the overall.
Of what we collect.
Of what
That's
we
yeah,
right.
So-
well, and because I think that's hard for me, and this is why I kind of went down this rabbit hole as I kept studying this, I think it's hard to see that there's no different fee, and I know there is by the size of the pipe and the size of this, but if I'm looking at this right, is the sewer capacity fee, a single-family home, and I know a hotel is more than one ERU, but I don't know, I just want to make sure commercial, it's fair to both.
Yeah,
I
commercial
guess,
should
at
be,
the same.
make sure that it's, in comparison, they're putting a ton of pressure on our system. And
Yes.
if there's a group of people that we should be collecting from, to me, it should be the commercial part of
Commercial
it.
side
So I don't
more than-
know if we come up with some, way to adjust if it's commercial versus residential. I don't know if that's even fair, but I agree that, if we are implementing these capacity fees, we want to make sure that we're calculating it
Yeah.
right and we're capturing what we should.
And I think sorry.
No, I apologize.
Nope.
But when I ran Woodward Township Water and Sewer Authority, our minimum commercial we call them EDUs, EDU was 1.5.
What,
A single-family home minimum was 1. Commercial was
1.5.
1.5 minimum.
Oh,
So
I
we
see what
did set
you
a
mean.
minimum.
Yeah, because I
That-
feel like that's
up
where
to
I'm
you
not comparing
guys.
apples to apples, and I'd want to ask Jorgensen, what's a normal ERU at the long stay right now? That's the kind of, I guess, data
So
I
the-
should research.
the question is, let's just say there was a single-family house that came in with one sink, one toilet, one dishwasher, and a spigot outside, whatever.
And there
in the
are some
shower.
of those.
What, so they've got like 4, so they're.
They're
or
gonna pay
5.
9,000.
No, well, under this, they're gonna pay 20% of 9,000 if they've only got 5.
No, the
No,
minimum.
no, no, the minimum,
is
no matter what.
1.
You could have 5 or you could
Okay.
have 25.
Hold on.
Yeah.
That's
I wanna
what,
make sure
that's
I'm
the part I'm
understanding that.
struggling with.
And I don't have the ERU chart.
Oh, wait,
Do you have that, Mark?
one,
What?
Yeah, so it's the minimum is 1, no matter what.
How many ERU?
You mean from Kevin?
Yeah.
right, so to me, that actually
don't
seems
have that.
fair. Minimum is 1 ERU, and we know we're gonna collect that amount. But if you had, let's just say it's, someone's building a 5-bedroom, 4-bath house, and you calculate their ERUs, and they've got 35. So then it's gonna calculate whatever the number is, right?
So how does that work? Is the ERU done by tenths? Or is it just done in whole numbers? So if you go to 36, do we then go to 2?
It's rounded to the next. Kevin had wrote that line.
Okay,
Hold
and
on,
I'll look
let's look
too.
at
Or,
that.
or is it just 9,080 divided by 35 or what?
Or
25,
25.
whatever it is, and then you multiply that out.
See, I don't think it's done that meticulously.
Yeah, he said to round, your fees are based on, okay, fees are based on a monetary cost per ERU, and ERU is considered 25 fixture units. Sewer fees will be a minimum of 1 ERU. ERUs above 1 will be rounded up or down per the closest half number.
Okay, so half, so 12 and a
Is-
half.
Yeah, that's how
So-
Kevin wrote it.
0 to 25, you're just at 1.
Yeah.
And then if you're at 26,
So really,
you're
you're
gonna
good
round
at-
to 1.5.
Correct.
37.5.
Yeah.
You're good at 0 to 37.5.
Okay,
I don't know, still feels high.
37.
yeah.
Well, then I guess I'm gonna be honest, then I think the out-of-town connection fee, if we're not tied, I think might need to be higher
On the sewer.
on the sewer and the water.
If we can calculate that. too.
I know, I'm just trying to,
Yeah, I think it's gonna be so rare that someone from out of town is hooking up to the sewer, but
do we have out-of-town people on the sewer? I don't feel like we don't anymore.
Mary, what's the ordinance?
Yeah,
Is she the only?
yeah,
That's the only one that I can think of.
yeah, I think you're right, Craig. I think you're
Okay.
right now. Now that's all.
Okay.
does anyone have any other comments, questions on this? We're talking about ordinance 13 right now.
Oh, where'd it go?
Does anything seem unfair or other than what we've talked about already?
Yeah.
I'm just curious on definition. So the meter tampering fee, what's considered tampering?
I think what we're trying to,
That-
if someone is going around our meter for like an irrigation system,
Oh,
What's that?
is that possible on our new
Yes.
meters? Oh, hopefully,
There's a
hopefully not.
Not.
There's a definition in the
There's a definition.
2025 01
I know.
ordinance.
AI
There was a definition of tampering in
is
there
alive and well.
somewhere.
in 1, 2,
On page 17
Oh, are we moving on? Sorry.
of 21 in the utility
There's a
ordinance.
definition in there.
In 2025-12?
Yep.
for, so, Craig, is the tampering basically for messing with the tampering with the actual meter or bypassing it and doing?
Both, I would say.
Okay, because bypassing it seems like it's, should be way more severe than just tampering.
And I'm all for that, if we can do that.
Yeah, and that'd be my next question is like, how are we essentially building our case for Jim to, I mean, that's, you know,
You seen one this week, or last week? Was it last week?
You saw someone that was bypassing.
Would
Bypassing the
that,
meter.
would that fall under the unauthorized activities though?
Yeah, it's under,
Yeah.
so in the procedure ordinance on page 17, the unauthorized connection, uses, and tampering is where that's all listed.
Okay, and what's the penalty for that?
500? Oh, wait, what did it
Is
say?
everything under there 500
$750 per day.
Oh,
per day?
per day.
Each day is,
Oh, there it is,
once
you're
we
right.
tell you.
water
right?
theft, yeah.
Once we tell you you're breaking the law, if you don't fix it, we can consider each day a new,
Okay, so that would be considered
Seems
under unauthorized connections. Sounds good.
And then also to just kind of put it in real-world terms, for water capacity fees, who's on a 3/4 inch, who's on a 1 inch, who's on a 1.5, and who's on a 2? Like what kind of business, what kind of R1, who are
Most-
who are these people?
Most people in the town, I don't know what percentage, Craig, you could probably off the top of your head know, but most people are on 3/4 inch. Most single-family residents
I
are
would
3/4
expect
inch.
so.
Right. Do you, off the top of your head, think of like a hotel or something that's got 2 inch?
They're too much.
Like all the hotels are?
Yes. Yep.
So the hotels are on 2, but what about,
Apartments, mine, KJ's, they're at 2. All the houses are 3/4 or 1 inch. there's a house building right now and they want 1.5. I don't know why, but they do, so.
What would be generally MRC, 1.5, 1? Like,
What?
like if somebody comes in with, say, a live work, build, so they got 3 units up top, 3 retail, you do 2-inch?
What is a dead horse?
Dead horse, well, so they're putting all their infrastructure in, 6-inch mains, water mains, and then they're doing each unit's gonna have their own meter pit, which is gonna be 1 inch.
Okay, so they have
So
one
they're
big,
gonna have one individual.
so it's metered at 1, but it's got a 6-inch supply line to the overall project.
To the overall project, and then there's gonna be meter pits for each individual space.
The apartments that you were, they have a 2-inch, you said,
Which is,
behind KJ's?
yep.
And their usage is metered just at the 2-inch, and then they charge their customers a monthly or whatever? Okay.
Hawthorne's 3-inch, I think. But yeah, mostly the hotels are 2-inch or bigger.
Okay.
Gotcha. And then, hey, Kevin. Speaking of which, as Kevin walks in the door, the fee increase, was that a recommendation of Jorgensen? And if so, I'll let Kevin sign in.
So that I'm clear too, so we are 1,500 for your water connection, then you're 7,900.
So Kevin, right now, we're just talking about water capacity fees, and I'm just curious on who is the user, you know, right? We have 3/4 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inch, 2-inch. Kind of what does that mean in the real world? Who is that user on a 1.5 inch or a 2-inch? And being given that user, specifically the 1.5 and the 2-inch, the increase of, what was it, 150-something percent to 250-something percent? How is that, I guess, I mean, we need to cover our costs, but also at the same time, I'm looking, and I'd like to attract more commercial users within this town, and I don't want our fees, if we're way off from Thane or somebody else, to be like, I'm not putting a live work MRC unit or a retail space in Alpine because I'm not paying $42,270 to hook up to a 2-inch, which I'm required to do.
Right.
So I'm just kind of curious on the thought process there for myself, and I'm sure everybody else who's looking at that increase.
Right. And typically it's 3/4 inch. Lower is a typical residential house.
Yeah.
That can get you up to probably like a 5-bedroom kind of house, so it can get to be a pretty good sized house. But anytime you get much more than a 3/4 inch, you're going to start getting into larger buildings
Sure.
of whether it's a house or a plane hangar or a restaurant. Most restaurants are going to be 1.5 or larger just because of the amount of volume. Plus, what they like to have is an 1.5 larger because you get that volume of the flush valves. So they work properly. So, yeah. And it really comes down to, as far as the buy-in cost for the capital,
Yeah.
that's more of a item that we can give you a recommendation on, but it's definitely more of a council member's, what you feel. Because you could be saying, that, like you just said, we want more commercial in here, so we're going to make it cheaper. So you can subsidize that or do it different ways to try and get it in here for those kind of things. So, yeah.
So then the amounts that we're looking at right here, are they off of the water study that Sunrise did?
Yeah, so not so much Sunrise. Sunrise didn't come out.
Or
Raftellus came out
Raftellus,
with those,
sorry.
yeah. So we talked to Raftellus and worked with them on those as well.
Okay. And
So-
they're kind of going by our costs, our infrastructure.
Right.
People who are coming in.
And what we also looked at too is what your accounting system, your general ledgers have been telling us.
Yep.
That water's right at 99%, but you need to have 20% kind of built in for extra things working down the road.
Perfect.
Because 100% just gets you what you have to fix and nothing else. Doesn't help you in the future. That's the same thing with the sewer. I think the sewer is running around at 79%, 80%. So you're roughly 20% just to get to even, and then you still need the 20% on top to get that
Covered.
little bit of buffer.
Right.
And then we thought, trying to switch it up a little bit, instead of having the meter as a smaller cost, a monthly cost, and then the water rates going up and go down, is kind of flip that around a little bit, so that way the meter costs a little bit more, but that at that point, you have a more consistent cash flow coming in, because everybody's going to be paying for their meter monthly, and then they could adjust how much they're using on the water rates. So-
And then we were discussing earlier about the fixture rate, so 25 fixture rate equals 1 ERU. How'd you guys come about 25, I guess?
We've seen it anywhere from down to 20, and we've seen it all the way up to 30. We actually kind of like the 23, but Raftellus kind of like the 25 more, so that's kind of where we landed, right in that zone. And again, it's up to what you want to pick as the number.
Right.
We are trying to figure out a nice residential 3-bedroom, 2-bath, kind of your general kind of home that would get you 1 ERU.
And then we also calculated it at, if they go, above or beyond, and it looks like half the rate, you divvy on one side. So really, it's 25 equals 1 ERU, but technically it'd be 0 to 37 because you'd scroll down.
Right, exactly. Yeah, anything less than
Would we be
1.5.
better off lowering that 25 to say 20, because then that 20 would be a 30 really, and then that way we'd be capturing that R1 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, but any multifamily units or anybody above that's coming in, we can capture that 30 to 37 if there's a sweet spot there. Does
Right.
that?
Yeah, or you could
make any
adjust the
sense?
increments about what you're charging up. We just thought the equal, the 1 or 1.5, 2, 2.5 were the kind of easy to do, but you could easily do 1.1, 1.25, you could just do it exactly what it comes out to,
Okay.
We were just calculating, we have 3-bedroom, 2 baths, and we're like at 12, maybe 13.
Yeah.
And so we felt like, oh my gosh, 25 is almost twice what a,
But what you start seeing is when you actually start counting all your fixtures, like your mop sink, that's one.
gotcha.
So then your outside hose bibs, that's one of each of those all the way around. So you start counting, you count every water
Every
fixture in the
water
house.
fixture in the house,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And then you can let your, inspector get as technical and as sharp as he wants to be. I mean, if he goes out there and he sees a couple extra hose bibs, he's probably not going to care. If he sees 10 in a wash bay, he's probably going to care.
Yeah.
So,
And I think for me, we were just chatting real quick we're almost at 20,000 just in connection fees for a single-family home, plus permits, plus that. So it's a pretty hefty
It is.
number coming out of the gate for R1. So that was kind of what I was trying to calculate.
yeah, as an example, my little water district up in Game Creek, just south of Jackson,
Yeah.
we charge $14,000 just to hook up,
Connect, yeah.
and then they have to still pay for the actual to do it.
Yeah,
So it gets close to that $20,000 number, and that's not unusual,
yeah, okay.
unfortunately.
No,
I mean, everything's super expensive.
Yep,
Well, and it also goes back to, we paid to have these studies done, and this is their recommendation, and so
Yeah.
I think if we're gonna go against their recommendation, then it needs to be justified.
yeah.
But it's all good. Any other questions, concerns, comments? Not like,
I mean, I've got a private question.
okay,
I do on
The
that.
2025-12, so.
okay, start rattling them off.
Okay. I'm telling her.
Got
So,
15 minutes.
yep, so page 1, and this is 2025 -12. So page 1 where it just says appointing a water commissioner. So this is already going to be a town employee, Craig, or somebody else, and this comes at a salary increase that's got to be worked in, or they just get added
Craig
responsibilities?
is called the water operator now. He'll be called the water commissioner now.
Okay,
That,
change in job.
it's
Okay.
just a
Yeah.
change of title.
Okay. So then-
It doesn't, it won't make a difference.
Okay, so when they talks about under authority, applications for water and sewer services, this is separate from the planning and zoning process that people have to go through? This is a
It
new
always has
additional
been.
application, or it's
Yeah,
all,
it's always has been.
it's always in there, okay. Page 2, under water connection requirements. So the language connection of Town of Alpine municipal water system is mandatory for all properties located within the incorporated limits. How I read that on my first go-through was the second we pass this, you're gonna have a chunk of people in the town that are out of compliance with this ordinance. Or is this, as people are buying, selling homes, making adjustments,
Everybody.
phasing out their
Yeah.
septic tanks, then they're gonna come online?
So everybody in the town of Alpine is required to be connected to water. And everybody who has access to sewer is required to be connected to sewer. That's already the case, and the language doesn't change that. With sewer, when they did this sewer extension, the project phase 1 and 2, at that time, all of those houses were given a mandatory connection notice to connect to the sewer system. However, they, a lot of them did not want to, thought it was too expensive. And so there was language put in the ordinance 296 to allow phase 1 and 2 to not connect until their septic systems failed. And that language has been removed from 296 and it is in this ordinance.
Okay,
So nothing changes.
nothing changes there.
If, yeah, so everybody has to connect if they have access now.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that was one of my questions
Yeah.
later on, under the sewer, where it says.
Did you have,
We do have a couple of properties that have access, but also have, they're connected to a spring that's separate from ours.
water?
Yes,
I had no idea.
yeah, up on the hill. There's 4 lots.
Didn't know.
There was two.
Well, the two owners, the 2 lots are, or actually it's 3, because the Annette, the corner lot, and then the one, was that south of her? Above her,
Yeah, I didn't know
anyway. Those 2 lots, and then Scott's old place, that one, those 3 are on
Do
us.
we need to put
separate.
language in that basically covers us for that?
The truth is, we should have language in there. It wasn't even in the last ordinance.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Maybe some language that says unless already, we need, you know.
Yeah,
How were they granted that
This
in
goes-
some sort of a fit, or just,
Yeah,
it
this
was
goes-
just
This
let
goes
go?
back to
Okay.
back to the beginning.
Well, I didn't know, yeah, I didn't know if I needed to look for some historical language to insert, because I did go and research all of the sewer stuff to make sure that the language matched exactly what was in the agreements that are written. Okay.
Okay, let's keep firing through this,
Got
but
it.
yeah, we may need to add language
Well,
there.
and going back to this though, for those that have had homes here on the hill, wherever, 50-year-old septics, is there any way we can grandfather them in at a lower rate?
Well,
Because
we
those
don't have
homes are-
infrastructure up there.
Not on the hill, but is there anyone on
The
the
flat.
flats?
The hill people are it.
Yeah,
They
they're the
still
only
have that-
people
oh,
that don't have
okay.
access to our.
Then no worries.
yeah. And if we were ever gonna put, infrastructure up there, that'd be a huge spend. I can't even imagine what that
Yeah,
would be.
we would.
but-
real quick, page 3, meters are provided by the town. We provide the meters and pay for the meters, or homeowner
Kind of.
pays for the meters?
Homeowners pay for the meters, right, Monica?
The meters are included in the connection fee.
Right, yeah.
The cost of the meter.
So, okay, back to my question,
And then-
$1,500, we need to, I think, hammer down on, so 500 of that is the meter, or whatever it is, and then $1,000
It's
left.
$337 for a 3/4 inch meter,
Currently,
currently, as of right now.
that's the key word.
And then your capacity covers, I mean, that's $9,000, or 7,800, which I would think that.
Capacity on the
On a
water side is
3/4.
9,000, right?
Yeah, so I would think, I mean, for 337, I think that would be part of it.
We can relook at all of this.
So
if
the
you want.
capacity
I mean,
fee,
for-
again, is supposed to.
I know, is supposed to
For future growth and all that
Yeah,
stuff, and
it's
the,
to assure that you've got capacity in the system.
yep.
Yeah. You're buying in.
Yeah, the connection fees will go into operating funds. The capacity fees will not.
Okay, keep firing away.
Okay, so in a couple, page 5, and then I have a cross-reference somewhere later on this readiness to serve fee, on page 5, there's language where it just says vacant lots. And later on in the document, it talks about vacant, unoccupied lots that are connected to the system already. It seemed like there was some conflicting language throughout the
Oh,
document.
thank you for that, Kat.
And then there's another spot too where it talks about lots that are connected and have an account set up. So there was 3 different languages. I don't have it right here.
Oh,
but
I
can
wish
get
I
it
knew
for
where it
you.
was.
So just to clarify that.
Yep, we'll take a look at it.
Page 6, installation criteria, encroachment permit shall be required for all curb cuts. So, again, just another, as we're adding up the total of what it's gonna cost somebody to connect to water sewer, what does that encroachment permit involve, and how much does that cost?
$25. It's the fee that I'm recommending.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also what's the 750 on the, oh, which one were you
Where?
looking at?
I'm on page
H.
6.
It's for breaking the law.
Never mind.
Yeah, I'm rapid firing here.
Yep.
Page 7, very top, the additional fees, you kind of talked about that a little bit before, but it's just very vague, you know, when someone's going into this process and there's language that says, oh, you might have more fees.
We have to have a way to charge them what they owe.
Sure,
Yeah.
it's just vague, that's all. And then you already touched on my next question, going into sewer connection
Right.
requirements. What is considered reasonable access to the sewer system? Or is that, Craig, from your perspective, fairly cut and dry?
Yeah, it looks like your sewer line running in front of your property, I would assume,
Yeah.
yes.
It may need some clarification, just a definition of what that reasonable access is.
Yeah. 'cause it
I
says
think
the-
that was copied from
I think
the
you'd have to define
old
streets.
ordinance.
So, then we might have to clarify that.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Some of this we've already talked about. Yeah, I was just asking, going on to, I guess, kind of page 9, 10, 11, where it talks about if you have folks that are on septic systems currently, their septic fails, or their leach field fails, all of a sudden, they need to get hooked up to
Yep.
town sewer. There's language in there, okay, they need to apply for the sewer, but also need to get a building permit and kind of jump through a few steps. If their septic's failed, they're gonna have
Well,
a
there's-
mess in their yard. So is there a process to sort of expedite getting them hooked up?
Well, in reality, so we're only talking about people up on the hill, right? And we have no infrastructure up there, so it doesn't say that they're required to hook up,
It's
right?
just water.
Or is that what you're?
Well, I mean,
It does.
it does at the
Yeah.
beginning, and it says all existing and new structures with reasonable access to town sewers
Right, so
must
that,
be connected.
they don't
So-
have reasonable access.
So I think we're gonna have to define it way tighter.
I think so.
Okay.
Same.
You're right, item
Because if
14.
someone's septic
can double.
fails up on the hill, like, they have to go to the county and get a new permit from the county, because we don't have a septic permit. So they'll have to go pay their
You're
$350.
talking for people down on the flat that have access to our sewer
Yeah.
and their septic like that, or their septic tank there.
Yeah,
Well, how many people on the flat have a septic?
or someone that portion that's just become annexed in and is in the
I can't-
process.
But that's a good point, like, there might be some, and we need to, if it fails and you have reasonable access, then you should be required to hook up.
Sure.
You are, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that language is in there. I guess my question is, if all of a sudden you have to apply for it, get a building permit, get this, get that, again, in the meantime, you're gonna have sewer backing up on your property, so is there a mechanism to kind of fast track those people to getting their sewer
Well, yeah, I mean,
connected,
if
you
they've
know?
got a
They
problem,
wouldn't need a building permit.
yeah. I don't think they need a building permit for septic.
Right, just to hook up.
They need a permit from the county, is it? Is that your understanding, guys? Okay,
At least when I did my septic, it was all through the county.
okay.
Yes.
Right, but we're talking
On the flats where they
They're gonna
actually
get,
could
yeah, they're
connect.
gonna connect to our system.
They're gonna-
our system.
And Craig will make sure they do it in a matter of days if they need to.
Right.
Yep.
So the language is on end of page 8, page 9. Conditions for installation, full payment of connection fees, completion of the application process, issuance of a permit. So again, say we have a new section of town that's just been annexed in, everybody's still on their well, their septic, something goes wrong. They don't have a month or two to work through that process. They need can help right away.
Yeah,
so.
you're right. Maybe,
If it's a single, but if it's I understand your concerns, but if it's a single-family home, there's really, I mean, it's really not a process. Like, if they come in and it's a single-family home with a septic, it's gonna be one ERU. Craig's gonna look at it, say, here you go, sign off on it, and they're gonna be off
it could be
to the
within
races.
24 hours.
Yeah. Now, if it was a hotel, I probably not.
That's-
Yeah.
So we have 5 minutes
Yep.
left,
And
and
those are my big questions.
my question for you is, now it seems like maybe we've gone through about half of
Yeah.
what we should have gone through. So with that being said, what does that mean for our agenda in the meeting tonight? Does
I would recommend that
I would
remove them from the agenda?
that you remove them
Okay.
from the agenda.
So let's do that. During, when we talk about the agenda, if someone could just make a motion to remove, starting with
see.
14, 13, 12, or C through E, and then we'll just keep working through these, and then when we feel like we're ready to bring them forward. But, I mean, thank you for reading through all this, and I think we'll have suggestions, changes for the staff, but, yeah, it's just too much to go through right now and feel comfortable voting on it tonight. So.
Mr. Mayor, would you like me to schedule a work session for the next meeting, ahead of your meeting?
We'll take a look at it. I'll get back to you on that. I think the next meeting's gonna be pretty busy, but, does everyone agree this is the proper time, place to talk about these things?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because other than that, you're gonna have to come in and meet with staff or whatever, so, okay. So, maybe on the 16th, but more than likely, I think, a month from now, we'll have another work session to discuss this. I know we want to get this stuff landed as soon as possible, but we'll just have to work through it. So that's all we've got for the work session. We're going to adjourn if we have a motion to adjourn.
So, work session.
Okay, well, seeing as though there's no further business,